They say the devil walks among men, sometimes in plain sight, sometimes in the guise of a beast. In the late 1500s, in the German countryside near Cologne, villagers whispered of a creature that stalked the fields at dusk, a thing with eyes like embers, teeth that can tear through bone, and a hunger no prayer could satisfy. Its name was Peter Stumpp, but history remembers him by another name, the Werewolf of Bedburg. The year was 1589, a time when the land was scarred by war and faith. The 30 Years' War. War was still on the horizon, but the Holy Roman Empire was already splitting along Catholic and Protestant lines. Witchcraft, heresy, and blasphemy were more than just sins. They were crimes against God and crown. And in the town of Bedburg, near Cologne, something, or someone, was hunting. For months, peasants found the remains of their livestock torn apart, entrails scattered like warning signs. Then the killings turned to people. Children vanished from their beds. Women disappeared while walking through the forest paths. The farmers began to whisper that this was no ordinary wolf. They said the beast moved like a man. Peter Stumpp was a widowed farmer, a man in his 50s, plain-featured, known to keep to himself. He lived in Bedburg all his life, working the fields, and by all counts, a well-mannered family man. But behind his quiet eyes, darkness was festering. Stumpp claimed that he had dabbled in black magic from the age of 12, that he called out to the devil himself, asking for power, for freedom, for pleasure without consequence. And according to the pamphlets that would soon spread across Europe, the devil had listened. In exchange for his soul, the devil gave Stumpp a magical belt, one that when fastened would transform him into a wolf. But not just a normal wolf, but a beast, strong and mighty, with eyes great and large that burned like hellfire. In this form, Stumpp would be unstoppable. When the belt was removed, he returned to his human form, a man indistinguishable from any other. After 25 years of killings, the people of Bedburg had had enough. They set traps, hired hunters. One night, a group of men cornered a large wolf in the fields. They gave chase, and when the beast vanished behind a thicket of trees, it was not a wolf they found, but Peter Stumpp, panting, bleeding, with no belt in sight. He was taken in irons to authorities, and what followed would make him infamous. Under torture, Stumpp confessed to unspeakable acts. He said that for decades he had roamed the countryside as a werewolf, killing at least 13 children, 2 pregnant women, and even his own son. He described how he ripped unborn infants from their mothers, devoured hearts and livers raw. He told them that he feasted on human flesh both as a man and as a beast. When he was not killing, he was said to be consorting with demons and committing incest with his daughter, Sybil, and a mistress said to be a succubus, sent by Satan himself. Whether any of this was true, no one could say, but under the instrument of pain, confessions were easy to come by. In October of 1589, the town gathered to witness Stumpp's execution, an act both of punishment and purification. It would be one of the most brutal in recorded history. They placed Stumpp on a wheel, and with heated irons they shattered his limbs, breaking them into pieces so he could never walk again, never rise from the grave. Then they beheaded him, and his body was burned to ash. Beside him, his daughter and mistress were strangled and burned as accomplices. As a final warning, authorities mounted his severed head on a tall wooden stake, and atop it they placed the head of a wolf, nailed to the post like a crown of damnation. They said Bedburg slept easy after that night, but many wondered if Peter Stumpp had truly been a man at all. The records of the Stumpp case come mostly from a 1590 English pamphlet, now preserved in the British Museum. The original German documents are lost, which means all we have are retellings, filtered through fear, translation, and the moral lens of the witch hunts. Historians today believe Stumpp was likely mentally ill, or perhaps simply a convenient scapegoat. Some suggest the story was political propaganda designed to terrify the populace during a time of religious unrest. Still, something about the story endures. Because whether or not Stumpp truly turned into a beast, his tale embodies something deeply human. The terror of losing control, of letting the darkness inside us take over. The line between man and monster has always been thin, and in Bedburg it was torn apart. When the fires of Bedburg died out, all that remained was ash and a story that would haunt Europe for centuries. The story of a man who said the devil made him a wolf, and maybe believed it. This was The Werewolf of Bedburg, the story of Peter Stumpp, and you're listening to the Common Anomaly podcast. I hope you enjoyed tonight's tale. Be sure to like and follow for more content like this, as well as our regular weekly podcast. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. Happy Halloween.